Hey Wagwan people, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to change your water pump on this 2016 Buick Encore. So if your car look like this, whether it's 2017 or 2015 or 2016, whether if your car look like this, it's going to be the same procedure no matter what year car you have. So once your car look like this, and it's a Buick Encore. So guys, we gonna get into it. You want to identify the engine size you have. This one is 1.4 liter right there, so that's where you would identify your engine, where it said group. And your water pump gonna be down here. So we're gonna take off all these, and always remember, work on your car when it's cold, not when it's hot, because you can burn yourself up. So first thing first, please go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, welcome. If you are old, welcome back. So let's go ahead, open here to make sure there's no pressure inside here. Alright, so we have no pressure in there, so that's good. And we're gonna go ahead and remove the intake, and then we're gonna remove the water from the coolant from the system. All right, so let's get started. All right guys, so let's start from taking off the intake. Flathead screwdriver. So you have one right here, one clamp right here. You just go ahead and remove this clamp like this with your flathead screwdriver, so that way you can pull back and the intake tube will come off like that from the intake air filter housing. Same thing down here. You just want to remove that clamp right there, the same way how you remove the first one. And this one will come off the turbo. This side is the turbo side, so it will come off from there. And the next step is to unplug this right here. You want to pull back on this red thing right there. Go ahead and squeeze this and pull back, and that will come off like that. So we need to remove the intake air filter box housing, so we'll pull this up like this and it will come up. You want to pull forward, pull it out from right there. So once everything is out, you can see we're getting closer to the water pump, because the water pump is right there. So this right here is the water pump. And also we need to remove this motor mount right here, and remove the motor mount bracket that goes over the water pump, because we're gonna need that to remove, so we can remove the water pump. Alright, so let's get into it. And this we can just pull up on this right here, take this off, and this will give you more room to work. So let's go ahead and go underneath the vehicle and see if we can find that drain for the radiator, so we can drain the system. Alright guys, so we're gonna need to remove this plastic piece right here, just the front part of it, so we can get underneath, so we can get in there. I don't know if you can see this right here. So that right there is where the drain is for this. So we're gonna remove this down. I can loose it from there, but I don't want to create a mess on the floor, so I'll just remove this piece right here. And it's gonna be a mixture of 7 and 10 millimeter. Link will be in the description for the tools we use. I already removed the 10 millimeter already, So let's just remove the 7mm. So that come down. So that piece that fall down right there should go like this right here. So once you're going back up, you just set it back the way it should. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it back from right now, so we don't have to deal with that at the end of the video. Get it locked in. Now we can see this. We just need to pull this right like that, but we need to set something right here to catch the coolant. Alright guys, so we're gonna come under here, we're gonna pull this right here, and once you bring it back far enough, it's gonna start leaking like that. Have something to catch the fluid, and that's it. I'm gonna lower the vehicle now so it can get up top while that's draining. So after the coolant drain, you want to put the piece of board on your jack so you don't have metal to metal contact on your engines, because we're going to remove the motor mount, so we're going to need to support the engine, and this is a very important step in this process to support your engine so your engine doesn't fall onto the ground. So go ahead, you can see the drop going up under there, you can see the engine start to go up now. So we're just gonna go up, release the pressure from that and release the weight off the engine mount, and then we can go ahead and just remove the motor mount. So let's do that part. Alright, so to remove the motor mount, it's gonna be 15mm. Link will be in the description for all the tools I use. They are all the same size, so if you mix them up, that's not a problem. Go ahead and remove that. So that's how you would change your motor mount, minus the rest of the video where I take out the coolant. But if you want to change your motor mount, that's how you change it. So the next step is to remove this bracket from here, which it looked like somebody been in here before, because those both look like they've been tampered with. So guess I'm going over somebody's job. So let's go ahead and remove this bracket from right here. So we gotta remove 1, 2, 3 bolts down there. So let's get started on that. Alright, they are 15mm. So you just go remove them like that. Link will be in the description for the tools I use. And wherever you see I use the gun, just know a ratchet handle like this can be used right there too. So link will be in the description for all those tools. Alright, so that's how you take out the bolts. So I'm just gonna remove them and I'll come back to you. So guys, to remove the screws on to remove the bolts on the motor mount bracket, I removed them, but as you see, it's got stuck right there. This one is the same thing. So what I'm gonna do is raise the engine up. That's why we remove the jack, remove the mount, so we can go up and down with the engine, and then we can remove them like that. All right. So push it in first so you don't get stuck like how it just got stuck for me. So now I can go ahead and remove this one like that. I probably can take that out while I'm taking the so there's a cutout in the frame. So look like they thought about this. So there's a cutout in the frame that you can use to pull out and push, take out this like that. So now for me to remove the lower one, we gotta lower the engine so we can remove that at the bottom. Alright, so let me finish backing it out and let you know. Alright, so I lowered the engine, and how you do that is just lower the jack, and then you can take it out like this. All three are the same size, so you can mix them up if you want. So now we just need to take this out. We'll probably just gotta jack the engine back up. And once it's up, you can take it out. Go up some more. And this is the motor mount bracket. And our water pump is right there. And you can see where it's leaking you can see the residue on it. Alright, so guys, you just want to make sure you can come right here, take a picture of your belt so you can know your belt diagram. So, or you can just come back to the video like this, and that's your belt there. That's how your belt should run. So let's go ahead and loosen these 3 torque screw. So they're gonna be E12 torque, and the reason why I take it off with the belt on, because the belt will help to hold the water pump from spinning, so that's why I do it like this. I just need to get it loose where I can use my hand to turn it. So there you go, my hand can turn it, so that's good. Let's see for the tensioner, because we need to back the tensioner off so we can remove the belt. So that's the next step, is to remove the belt. Alright guys, so we're just gonna remove the belt. So if you're facing the belt like this, it's gonna go clockwise. You gotta turn clockwise to release the tension from the belt. To release the tension from the belt, take it over the water pump like that. it might come off from the rest of the pulleys, but that's fine. Remember, we already saved the diagram, so we can go ahead and remove these with ease now. So the next step is to take off those clamps. So you're gonna have one right here, as you can see. Alright, so let's remove the clamp from the, let's remove the hose. So by doing that, we're gonna remove this clamp right here. So I removed the clamp from the hose. The hose looks swollen, so I couldn't get it to go over this part, so I just go the other route right here. But that's fine too, that will work. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend removing changing this hose to the customer. So let's see if they want to change it, because I don't like the way it looks. As you can see, it start cracking, or the person that was in it before cracked that part, or rip a part of the hose. Alright guys, so let's remove this this plug right here, and we're gonna remove this plug from the thermostat. So you want to pull up on this red thing right here and squeeze on the black piece and pull up. So pull back on the red, squeeze on this piece and pull back. So next thing, we need to get a flathead screwdriver to get in here to release that pin. Go all the way back. That come loose, you can just put that anywhere, put it out the way like that. I don't think we're gonna change the thermostat, but I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna look in it to make sure it's all good. Alright guys, so what I did so far, I removed this clamp from here, and the next part is to remove, there's a hose back here on the thermostat right here. There's a hose behind it. I don't know if you can see it down here where my finger is right here. So there's the hose. I removed that clamp from there. Now what I'm gonna do is I will take that off because it's in a tight spot, so I will take it off when I remove the water pump. So you can get your pliers, come right here, hold the hose, turn back and forth to get your hose moving, and once it starts moving, you can go ahead and remove it like that. So as you can see, if you look right here, that's the reason why I said I don't like the hose, because somebody went in there and they damaged the hose, or maybe the hose was dry right and deteriorate over a period of time. the next step is to get your water pump. So we're gonna get the tool we need to take off these torque screws. So guys, this is the part of the job where you do not want to mix up any screws. So what we're gonna do is get the new water pump, because some of the screws are longer than some, so you don't want to mix them up, because you can damage your engine, or the screw won't screw in tight and it will leak. So we're gonna get the new water pump. We're just gonna let it sit right here, keep this on it. So we're gonna let that sit right there, and each screw we take out, we're gonna put it in the hole that we get it from. So let's go ahead and remove these. So this is I'm just gonna take one out to show you what I'm talking about. So you see where I get this one from right there. You just want to take it and put it in the same spot right there, and that's it. That's what you're gonna do for all of them. So what I'm gonna use is a E10. It's E10 torque, or reverse torque I should say, and an extension, and that will help you to remove them easy and quickly. Alright, so I don't want to bore you with this part of the job, because you already know how to do that. Alright guys, so your pump might stuck on it a little bit after you remove all the screws, so just make sure you remove all the screws. Then you want to give it a nice little pull right there, and that will come off. So you can see that they put silicone there, because it doesn't take silicone right there. Just put on the gasket right there and you should be good. But somebody put red silicone right there. Now you have access to this hole right here. You can just do the same thing to get it moving, the hose. Once you can twist the hose back and forth, you can just go ahead and pull on it. And it will come off like this. Alright, so that's it for this one. Well, not for the video, but that's how you take out the pump. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back in, put back the new pump. So this is how I keep my screw organized over there. I will just transfer them over to this old pump, so I can install it just like how I did the new one. But let's take off the thermostat, which is this part right here. So it also gonna be E10. Just want to remove all these 3 screws right here. So after you remove your 3 bolts, you can just go ahead and lift this off. So this I will be cleaning this, and this I will be changing. I recommend you put new on that one. You can go ahead, put your water pump like this and transfer your bolts so you don't mix them up. Alright, so that's what I'm gonna do. Alright guys, so we got the holes right here. I just take it to the auto parts and match it. because that hose is not good. So we're just gonna install it like this and put the clamp on it. Need both of my hands for that. So I'm just gonna install it. Once that's done, you can go ahead and set the clamp where it's supposed to go, like that, and release it. And also I transfer the bolts over here, as you can see, and also I put on this washer right here. So make sure it's flat when you put it on, even under here. Make sure it's flat. So what you can do, you can hold the washer like this, and also clean the surface. Make sure you clean the surface so this gasket can sit properly. So now we're gonna install it. So what I'll do, I just put maybe 1 or 2 screws to help hold the gasket in place. So that's what I did, and then we're gonna go down and install it. So you just want to start the screws. So you don't have to put the screw all the way in, because I don't recommend putting them all the way in. What I would do, I would wait for the until I finish putting all the screws or bolts, whichever way you want to call it. Then I tighten it down. So just wait before get all this in. Alright, so I'm not gonna bore you with that. Alright guys, so these are the bolts that were there, and this is what the computer says. So you guys can pause the video right here and you can see. So it take 71 foot-pound of torque, and you must tighten them in a cross sequence. So that means you tighten them across from each other like that. Alright, so let's get back to the car and tighten that up. Alright guys, so after you put on this and tighten them up to the torque spec I just showed you, 71 foot-pound, and you tighten them in a crisscross manner, you can now go ahead and put on your new thermostat. And I always recommend you change the thermostat when doing this, because these thermostat, they fail a lot. So I would recommend it that you just change them while it's out and easy. Alright, so let's just put this on the rubber and put the clamp on and tighten it back down to the water pump. Alright guys, so everything is back in. Plug that back in, plug this back in right here, and try to keep something in here. I should have told you guys from the start of the video, put something in here so nothing don't fall inside the turbo. But just to better be safe than sorry, you don't have to. But if you know you're not as good of a worker, you might drop stuff all the time, put something there. If you trust yourself, you don't have to. Alright, so let's put this right here, put this back right here. That's why I take it off from here and not the clamp, because it's easier to go on once it's off like that. The next step is to get the pulley install your pulley, your water pump pulley. So these, you want to run them down as far as possible as you can. You can try to hold it and tighten it, but I would recommend just put the belt on first before you tighten it up, because it will make your life a lot easier if you do it that way. Because if you try to tighten it, it's gonna just spin around. You might can hold it like this, try to tighten it, but when the belt is on it, the tension that give you that will hold it steady while you tighten it up. So let's put on the belt. Got that like that. Make sure everything is lined up properly. The belt is seated good on the pulley. And remember to go clockwise. So I have this on. Once that's on, double check the work, make sure it's seated in the groove properly. So mine is good. I can go ahead and tighten up these up. You can just hold a belt like this down here on the alternator, and that will kind of help it from not to turn so much, but you don't really need to tighten these like really hard. And then you can go over it with a torque spec, to the torque wrench, make sure everything is to torque. I'll go ahead and leave the torque spec on the on the screen for you guys. Alright guys, so once that is done, it's time for us to put on the bracket. So we're gonna get the bracket down in the hole like that. You can go ahead and install this like this. You can do the same thing for this one. So we just want to get it started. We don't need to tighten it all the way up. We just need to get it started, because it's always good to catch all your bolt before you start tightening up anything. Alright, so once that is done, we can lower the engine and catch the one at the bottom also. So that is lowered down. Go ahead and catch this. Let's catch it in the hole like that. Alright, and then we're going to just tighten up everything. Alright guys, so the next step is to put on your mount. And please go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Help me help you guys. And you know, every time I said all right, I start laughing to myself because you guys say I say all right a lot, and you guys aren't lying. So I know to myself that I say all right a lot, but that's just me. I guess once you hear all right, you know it's me then. We'll go ahead and raise up the engine so everything can line up. So you can see we line up 3 holes right there. We're just gonna tighten this, try and tighten this up a little bit. Go ahead and drop the mount, drop the engine a little bit. Push that on the mount. So that's it. Once you start tightening it up, everything gonna go down flush. Alright, so the motor mount is on, and let's lower the engine all the way. Once the motor mount is on, that's good. Everything is nice and tight. Double check your work. So the next step is to put back your air filter housing and put back your air filter tube, your intake tube. So let's start with the housing. And it goes like this. Push this 2-part in first. Once that's line up it over here also. I think my rubber dropped out in the back, so I gotta go fetch it. But that's part in. So let's go get the rubber and then get back to this part of the job. Alright guys, so I found it. It fell into here. So that's good. The next step is to put this in right here. And then these tabs go into here. That's good. You can go ahead and remove your housing, remove your rag from here. Check down there, make sure you don't see nothing down there. Go ahead and install this. And get your Phillips screw, your flathead screw driver, and run these in. And also plug this in and lock that down. And the next step is to add some coolant, get the car run. This one bleed itself, so you don't need to bleed the system. So this one bleed itself, you don't need to bleed it. You just need to add coolant in it and let it circle through the engine, and then it will bleed itself. All right. So this is the point. You want to make sure you plugged in everything that you want unplug. Make sure everything is plugged in, because you don't want, when you start the car, you have the check engine light on. So everything is plugged in, coolant is in. We're gonna go ahead and crank the car up. Just gonna let that run. Now while the car is running, we're gonna lift up the car and we're gonna go underneath it and add some we're gonna make sure there's no leak, and we're gonna put up the undercover of the vehicle. So that is good. So yeah guys, it take almost 1 gallon of coolant. I check underneath to make sure there's no leak there. Recheck everything, make sure there's no leak. And that's it for this one guys. I'm gonna go out on a test drive. What I would recommend you do also is to drive the car around, and then when you cool down again, you just check if you need more coolant, and you add whatever you need. All right, this one take almost a gallon of coolant, so that's just a reference for you guys on how much coolant to buy. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Help me help you, and let's go for a drive. So we're just going for a small drive, for a little drive out. Make sure the gauge don't go past the half mark. That's good right there. Once again guys, peace out. See you next time. Subscribe to the channel. So after I went for a drive and I come back, that's where the coolant lever is now. So what we're gonna need to do is add more coolant to it, and the reason why the lever got like that is because the thermostat opened, and then the coolant went into the engine and full the engine, because you have coolant in the engine and you have coolant in the radiator at all times. So that's what happened. I was expecting that. That's why I always say wait till the car cool down. Go for a drive after you add coolant, wait for the car to cool down, and then you add more coolant. So mine is like that. So I'm just gonna let it sit right here and cool down and add more coolant. All right guys, peace out one more time.